गुरवे नमः। यस्या कदापि वसनाञ्चलखेलनोत्थ धन्यातिधन्यपवनेन कृतार्थमानी योगीन्द्रदुर्गमगतिर्मधुसूदनोऽपि तस्या नमोऽस्तु वृषभानुभुवो दिशेऽपि। There are various sampradayas and there are various founders of these sampradayas in India, like Sri Ramanuja, Sri Shankara, Sri Madhva and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Vallabhacharya. And different founders of these sampradayas seem to be arguing differently about God. And each one of them seem to be contradicting the other. Actually, as I told you before, that God is one, and He, being transcendental, beyond this material nature, beyond our mind, He can be experienced. If you have love for the God, He can be experienced, but He cannot be described. The Upanishad itself is saying, Yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasasaha. You cannot grasp Him with your mind, and whatever you have experienced, you cannot put in the form of words. Now, how do I explain this to the persons who has never experienced God? So each Acharya who has experienced God is trying to come out with a terminology. He is floating a terminology and trying to explain and convince the followers about the existence of the God, about the relish of the God and various other things. But none of these things actually give the true picture about the God, because God can never be explained. This is only a means to explain, focus the attention of the individual towards the God. So each one of them actually addresses to a certain kind of group in a different age or different region. So in order to communicate to them about the God, he explains in a way the audience can understand. But the basic fundamental thing, if you see, not just in India, but then in religions all over the world, whether you take it Islam or Christianity, all of them speak about love. Allah is the personification of love. Krishna, religious love. God is the relisher of love. This fact is the same thing. But then, how does he look, how to approach God, and what is his world? In explaining these things, various founders use different kinds of jargon. Just as sugar, the experience of a sugar, or the experience of a movie, the experience of a fruit juice, fruit, it can never really be explained to anybody. You just say that sugar is sweet and the fruit juice is very delicious, ice cream is delicious. What do I understand by this? But it gives me an idea. If I say this is very sweet, this is very delicious, it has been said in that way to motivate me to go and buy an ice cream or drink fruit juice. So the purpose of all these things, the various kinds of explanation, is to make you to start looking for and trying to seek God. There are different kinds of philosophies like Dvaita, Advaita, Achinta Bheda Veda, Dvaita Dvaita, Visishta Advaita. These are all jargon. God is neither Dvaita, there is neither Dvaita, there is neither Visishta Advaita. But if you say Advaita, you will say no, Dvaita is the only reality. If you go to the Visishta Advaita, they will say no, only Visishta Advaita is correct. There are problems in Dvaita, there is problems in Advaita. They argue like this because they don't go by the fundamental principle that God can never be explained. The Upanishad itself is saying God can never be explained. So if you say that God, the relationship between you and God, or the God, the philosophy is Visishta Advaita or Dvaita or Achinta Bheda Bheda, then you have found out a jargon through which you can explain God. If you can explain God, then He is not God. God cannot be explained, right? So the Acharya is only coming out with this language in order to direct you towards the God, and he gives you a path through which you can experience what this Acharya is also experiencing. That is the purpose. And depending upon, as I told you, that these founders have come out with this language for different regions, different times, and different kinds of people. Whoever attracts your attention when you listen to a philosophy, you should stick to that person and then follow that Acharya in order to attain God. Who is attaining? The person who is following the other form also. It is one God. Everybody is attaining Him only. Be it in the form of formlessness or in the form of formfulness, in the form of Krishna, Rama, Shiva. None of them are higher or lower, and all paths are correct. All paths will lead to the God only. They give different experiences, right? Because they have been explained differently. But then there should not be any fight about that my path is higher, your path is lower, my path is correct, your path is not correct. It should not be that way, because all of them are talking about one God and who cannot be grasped by mind and speech.